especially when they went down into that bottom lane to try and pick up a pylon token, instantly ran away. Nice play by him. But then you got to capitalize on it. There's too many people in the bottom lane, and even Tark was backing at that point. So they had numbers advantages galore there, and they just never used it.
Now we are into picks and bans for Game 2 of this best of 2. Can Paria scrape back a draw, or exceL keep pushing forward towards the final 2 spots as picks and bans, or sorry, bans even, coming in very, very thick and fast. Syndra, Lee Sin going to be banned out by Paria, as well as LeBlanc and Camille. And again, we talked about it at your red side, you kind of have to ban these, and most likely a Rengar coming out in the next one.
Yeah, but we're basically seeing the exact same bans as last time. There hasn't been any difference so far. And they're actually red side. Ooh. So obviously,
that Paria
can't play it though.
That forces a Kha'Zix ban. So what do you prioritize over the Kha'Zix?
Well, see, you can leave the Kha'Zix open and go for something like the Rek'Sai, who still does well because you're able to sense out where the Kha'Zix is, even in that invisibility. And especially when he tries to dive in, you've got to get past the Rek'Sai, which isn't an easy task to do. But yeah, wouldn't be surprised if they do decide to pinch that jungle just a little bit more. But if, as you were saying, the Kha'Zix ban does come through, well then Rek'Sai first pick on this side, and then what do you go with? The Graves, do you go with the Olaf, the Hecarim, something along those lines? And you've still got a huge amount of damage coming from the jungle in those respects. But they're just slightly different to what we're expecting to see. But I think that does put pressure on exceL to pick up a jungle in this next rotation, because if they don't, it just becomes super easy to get rid of all the junglers if you leave it to the second phase.
Okay. So no support bans whatsoever just yet. They prioritize 2 bans onto jungle and then pick support. So that leaves the Rek'Sai open for exceL and leaves Paria with a bit of a question mark over what they're trying to do with this.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. I know Branibus was struggling, obviously, on the target. They want something that he feels more comfortable on. But I don't think that's your best bet to just instantly pick the Zarya, especially as you were saying, they put so much pressure. You just see the Ashe, great pickup for that lane. See the jungler come through as well on exceL now. Nocturnal Plex would be very happy to pick up anything for him, like the Rek'Sai or the Graves or even anything along those lines. And you're kind of like, well, why are you leaving it? Why put that pressure there if you're not going to take it? So they are going to go with the Olaf, actually leave the Rek'Sai there. So could end up seeing Toxic Dares pick this up for himself. But it's kind of a weird ban phase, particularly when the likes of the MF is still open. You can see that come through in Zivis's pick here if he wants to pick that up for his team. But you could also see something like the mid lane, because this is where it gets interesting. It's like, do you pick the MF? But you don't really need to, because you've got Malzahar as well. So what are Team Paria planning with this? Are they going, okay, so they're going to pick up the bot lane, but what are they planning to ban in the next phase? I don't really see what the game plan here is, because you're going to leave a strong support open. The Karma, the Karma, you're going to have the Malz, you're going to have the MF even as a counter pick. So you're not really getting rid of anything by doing that, and then you're not really pinching the mid lane. You're just, it's such a weird draft phase coming through from.
Yeah, we see Jhin going to be picked up and the Rek'Sai, so a little bit later than we kind of expected it to come in, but the Rek'Sai does get locked in. But again, they're kind of forced into it. They didn't get the choice of it. It was kind of like, well, we're taking Olaf because exceL feel a lot more comfortable on that champion, and it fits into Nocturnal Plexus play style of aggressive, in your face, don't care what you're doing to me, I just want to kill you, and it's mainly on the AD carry.
Yeah, and basically that's the way he's been playing, is this kind of dive for the AD carry. And Olaf, it was Rengar last game, Olaf this game, they do fairly similar. It's like, hey, AD carry, buy AD carry. And that's why, as we're saying, now you're going to see the MF support. So what do they try and ban here? Now they've got top lane and mid lane, they put mid lane bans down. Right, well, Jokerism gets the, or exceL get the first pick here, so you're not really going to pick up a mid lane advantage. And then if you go and try and ban the top lane, well, I mean, Token has shown that he has a massive range of champions that he play, anything really tanky, and he's going to show up, so you're not going to be able to take away everything from him.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult for the side of Paria to really kind of go for any kind of power play with this second round of bans, because both teams have picked up their jungler and their AD carry / support. Ryze is going to be the first ban by exceL, so you can see Paria taking their time. Want to make sure that they make the right choice. I honestly think you ban Fiora and Poppy. I think Maokai is manageable, and to be perfectly honest, I think the Maokai is actually fine if you have a Jhin and Zyra who can constantly CC him. But then again, it leaves open the question of who do you pick up in that mid lane. There are still a couple of options. You've got Orianna, Cassiopeia. There's a couple of things that you can still go for. Katarina is still very much a strong pick. We are in 7.1 before the Gunblade nerfs, but it's actually going to be a Jace knocked away. So 2 targets there from the mid and the top, I should say, from exceL. Paria, I'm unsure as their game plan right now.
Yeah, I think the next one is probably going to be another top ban, and then you'll see the likes of the Nautilus and the Maokai come through. Or, yeah, because I think with what's come through, Kangas doesn't really have the champions there. So I think what's going to end up happening is that by pinching the mid lane that little bit, they're able to pick up something for themselves inside of exceL. And as you were saying, the likes of the Cassiopeia is still open. We still have the likes of the Orianna as well. So I think you want to take away... I think you want to take away the Orianna here and leave it across just to try and take away that little bit more from Kangas. But we'll have to see exactly what they do decide to go. I think you need to, well, obviously you need to pick up your top laner and your mid laner, but I think it's going to be difficult for them to find a mid laner. If maybe they do decide to go for the Cassiopeia. Can't see what the last ban is at the moment, but I think it's just going to be Nautilus and Maokai traded back and forth, whichever way they decide to go in that top lane.
Yeah, I think Poppy would have been the last ban, but we will get to you guys as soon as we possibly can with that information. But what do you go for here? Warm-up and...
The Rumble.
The Rumble being picked up. We are going to see a quick remake as we come back into our full view. But again, the ban was supposed to be Orianna, as we were told over the comms. So when the exceL picked it, it doesn't quite work that way.
Yeah, I know.
So I think the Rumble ban mightn't be kept up. We will wait for the admins to update us and, of course, update you guys watching at home and let you know exactly what's going on. But right now, with the picks that were picked up as well, like, yes, you get the Zyra Jhin. It's a very strong combo, very good for landing that Deadly Flourish, getting the stun off, getting multiple kind of planned procs off on the Thunderlords. I still don't know if Paria are comfortable on this Rex side. The fact that they let it kind of, you know, that they haven't really played it at all, this kind of series. They played it, I think it was once, and it didn't do amazing, and it was kind of a bit like, didn't really quite actually hit the mark that you would expect a Rex side to do. So what do they need to pick up in the last two bans realistically for you, or sorry, two picks, for them to kind of really kind of excel their top and mid?
Well, that's actually why I kind of liked the Rumble pick. It gave them that engage. You lay down the red carpet, and it's very difficult for them to back up from that. And particularly when you've got like the Ashe who kind of wants to kite backwards from anything that's coming her direction. She can't do that if the Rumble Ultimate, the Equalizer, is standing right behind her. So she's kind of caught in between a rock and a hard place in that situation. So I actually liked the Rumble pickup in that situation. And
but blind.
Yeah, that's that I'm a little bit worried about. Particularly when Token has shown how strong he is in this lane. I'm sure he's played against plenty of Rumbles in his time, so he'll definitely know how to play against that.
Yeah, exactly. And we are back into picks and bans. We do apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for the slight delay. Paria missed their last ban, so there was actually no ban for Paria. So they're actually going to end up having a fourth ban, or fifth ban, taken away from them. You don't need to be adding handicaps onto yourself, especially when you're 1-0 down and you're trying to get as much as you possibly can. I feel like this is just going to pile on even more pressure onto the mid and top lane, especially considering they clearly wanted to ban the Orianna, didn't do it in time, and now they have to give it away. Yeah, and that's the thing. You're not only giving that away, but that hurts your team, because we were saying about the pressure that comes through in these games. When you missed that ban, you've put pressure onto your mid laner. He's not going to be happy, and that's going to feed throughout the team. And when you're already behind, you want to be going into this in the right mindset. You want to be like, look guys, forget about it, wipe the slate clean, we've got to get this rolling, we've got to win this one. But you can't do that because now you've already set yourself up in a bad situation. So it's really going to be on Paria to try and stop this mental fallout and just try and keep themselves going. But we'll have to see what they do decide to pick up as we go through this. Of course, we will be seeing the Orianna, and more than likely then the Rumble going across as well, if that was locked in. Yeah, we'll see now what they want to go for. We will have to wait for the full duration of this last ban, as they will not be able to get it. So Paria losing their fifth ban because they did not ban it in time of the counter the last time. So again, that's actually pretty huge, because we know exactly what's going to happen here. It's going to hit 0, and immediately we're going to see Joker isn't picking up Ziviz's Orianna. So what do you do from the side of exceL? You're getting everything you go for. What do you go in top lane? I think you just need some sort of lockdown, because the thing is, when you're trying to run full force into an MF,
it doesn't end well. You've got to go through that bullet time and it just shreds you to pieces. And particularly when you've got so much protection coming through with the Orianna as well, just get something that can lock them up. Stop them from pushing through that a little bit more and try and hold them in that. But actually it's going to be the Trundle lock in. So they've kind of realized, okay, well, you're going super tanky pretty much every game. We're going to try and take that away. And the Katarina going into the mid lane.
This is very high risk if they do lock in this Katarina. This Katarina can go off or do nothing, and that's the big risk you take. They do lock it in. How confident are we in Kangas? That's the question.
Well, see, the Orianna does pretty okay into it because you're able to farm from pretty far away, so it's kind of hard to get the daggers onto you. And as well, when she does jump, you've got the shockwave to cancel her ultimate, but you've also got the shield, and then you can just command distance around you, so the Katarina is going to be standing beside you. So not only are you getting the shield, but you're getting your damage off guaranteed as well. So it does make it a little bit difficult for the Katarina, and we're going to see the Maokai locked in. Token did very, very well on that Maokai in the last few games, but when you're up against a Trundle who's going to be stealing all those stats from you, it kind of becomes a different story. But I think that's the plan, as we were saying, is just to try and lock up people for the rest of the damage that's coming through. You know, long range engage with the Ashe, follow up with the Maokai, and then you got the Olaf to just swing an axe in their face. So they've got that nice setup coming through there, but we'll have to see. This Katarina could end up disrupting that quite a lot because she'll be dancing around the place in these team fights, and she can be particularly hard to lock up if she does start getting multiple daggers down.
I think the big variable right now for exceL is if they can't get onto this Katarina, but at the same time, they've so much to deal with her. Olaf can't be CC'd once in Ragnarok, will be able to run straight onto that Katarina. Maokai, Twisted Advance. They've got the Orianna Shockwave. They've got a bullet time just to be able to shred her in the middle of her own ult. And then you have the Ashe Arrow on top of that. So many ways of disrupting and stopping this Katarina from really, really going off. And then who have you really got? The only person you've really got on the side of Paria to keep everyone there in the same place for Katarina to do damage is the Zyra. So if you don't get like a 3-man Zyra ult off, that's just not going to work out for you. So I feel like exceL, again, they're going to have a huge amount in their favor. And I really feel like Paria, one, losing that ban was pretty bad for them. But the second one is just, I don't see how Paria win this.
And that's the thing, is as a Zyra, you're never going to be close enough to the likes of an Orianna, MF, and an Ashe to actually get off an ultimate that's going to keep them there unless they're really badly positioned. So it's,
or if you flash onto them.
But then you're kind of just in the middle of a Maokai and, and an Olaf who are like, oh, well, this is easy.
I can see that happening now. There's like flashing like, yes! Oh God, where is everyone and why am I alone? As a very squishy Zyra who
At
just
least she has her plants there. I mean, it's a little bit of company.
It's a little bit, as Maokai just kind of goes in, it's like, we're friends, but we're not really friends, you know? It's kind of one of those weird situations. But I absolutely agree with you. I think that, you know, there's so little in favor of Paria's comp right now. It's very, very hard to see how they come out on top of this team fight, if there even is a team fight, because even then, they've kind of picked, apart from the Trundle, they've kind of picked not great lanes.
Yeah, and I think this is where Paria, which we've criticized them, like, to... It's flogging a dead horse at this stage.
Yeah, it's a
but
meme at this stage.
They have to get Kangas
They're Dignitas Baron throws right now. Like, that's what they are. No, not that bad.
But we do have to get Kangas moving. Kangas has to roam in this. You're not going to pick up solo kills in the lane, particularly when you're picked Katarina into a lane bully. Katarina, notoriously bad in laning phase, and you're into an Orianna. That's not going to end well. You need to start moving, get down to that bot lane and use what you have there. That Zyra can lock up someone so easily, particularly when you have the Ashe there. Very immobile. Get down, get some kills onto this Katarina, get some assists onto the Katarina, and just get her to a point where she can actually just remove people from the map, because otherwise it's just not going to happen. She's going to jump into these fights, not going to have the damage to really assassinate anyone, and then she's just going to run into the likes of the Maokai and the Olaf, who are just going to be quite happy to take her out.
Yeah. Prediction? If there even needs to be one after this,
I think
an analyst.
Yeah. I think it's exceL. I think the comp that's coming out from Paria just doesn't really have an answer for what's being thrown at them at the moment.
Yeah, and I would agree with you with exceL. But ladies and gentlemen, we will have to see, as anything is possible on the Rift. We are onto the Rift for Game 2 of this best of 2 between Paria and exceL Gaming. See if Paria can pull a surprise out of everybody's hat even, and get involved on Twitter, get involved on Twitch. Let us know who you think is going to win. Maybe Paria pull out all the stops and get out, this one trick Katarina going. Maybe Kangas finally, picks up that mid-game spike he picked up in the last 3 or 4 games he's gotten and actually does something with it.
There was 2 duckies in the river, I only just realised. Sorry, I was completely zoned out there.
No, I'm not even listening to you. There are 2 ducks. This just requires all of my attention right now. I did miss the fact that, there's only one.
No, the other one just went in. I never really saw a yellow one before.
The yellow one was the important one.
Yeah.
You used to get like 1 in every 10, so one person in every lobby used to get the one like rubber ducky kind of thing. But now everyone gets it. It sucks. Oh. Okay. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. 2 ducks in the river. And soon there will be no ducks. No ducks given, especially not for exceL. Anyway, moving on, coming up now into the early game. exceL, do they go for a similar kind of shenanigan onto the red buff, or do they just look for something pretty damn similar? It's going to be very hard to try and push out, especially onto that that Zyra, and the plants are going to be making that leash so much easier for Toxic Dares.
Yeah, that's why I play support, so as a Zyra, I always feel good when I can give a leash like that, because it just takes out the camp so quickly, and you don't take much damage at all because of how fast it goes down, and 2, because the Zyra can just tank up so much of that. Oh, Ox, you need to be careful. You're supposed to outrange him, not run into everything he can throw at you.
Yeah. Still early days though. Branibus, trying to show his little bit of dominance, making sure that he can get the damage down. Maybe Ox might be a little bit of a, little bit rusty on this MF pick, but I think once they hit level 2 and 3, it should be pretty damn easy for Ox to be able to kind of farm, or not even farm, poke this Zyra. But again, it's all on the board. And as I say that, here we go. A little bit of harass. Branibus, the exhaust immediately going down. And as they summon her down, and pots down as well. exceL already owning this lane.
And see, that's what I was going to say. They first picked this Zyra, so it's on Branibus to prove why it was worthwhile doing it. And so far, it's not showing up. They've just been outpoked. They didn't hit the level 2 first, and then they end up blowing a summoner spell this early. Branibus needs to step up and show that, okay, it was worthwhile picking this up because there was so much on the board.
Yeah, he needs to show that this first pick was worth it. Like you say, you can't first pick a Zyra knowing the MF is available and then lose lane that heavily. It's just not able to kind of work out for you in that regard. So yeah, it was never going to be worth it really kind of working for them. They got the Ashe and the Misfortune, so not only do you get the counter into the Zyra, but you also get the slightly stronger AD carry as well. Ashe, in my opinion, is the stronger AD carry versus Jhin, especially in laning phase.
Yeah, exactly. But the only kind of it just takes a lot more poke. The only kind of shining light for Pepito is that he shouldn't actually be near Token and Nocturnal Plex when these fights kick off. He should be back using the ultimate from afar to get these fights started, but we'll have to see if he actually does that. And we're saying Ox, once he hits that level 3 point, we'll be able to start it. And that's a lot of poke that's going down. And Pepito, don't walk up to the wave because that's just going to happen a second time.
Yeah, really, really difficult to see how the Jhin actually gets the items he needs early in this game. We're already seeing a small CS lead forming on the side of Jokerism. Is doing very, very well, and this is going to be Ziviz pretty much sitting pretty on this side, but we might see a dive in this bot lane already as we see, ooh, Nocturnal Plex throws out an axe, but again, Papito, he can't stay, he has to go away now. There's no way he can stay in this lane, it's just not going to be able to work out for him, and that's a huge move for him. Toxic Dares jumps on the Ziviz, Ziviz actually knocks back into the knock-up, as I say that, Burst Blood, Toxic Dares, Ziviz in no man's land. I'm not even sure why you walk back into that.
Yeah, he shouldn't have walked back in, but he had exhaust as well, so you could even have exhausted under...
You cheeky support. And as I say that, though, it might be a little bit of a bait as exhaust goes down and Kangas finds himself in front of an angry Nordic man and Nocturnal Plex picks up a kill. Great bait from the Misfortune. That was perfect.
Yeah, really well played. Ran directly towards the Olaf, but I don't know if where Kangas kind of went, oh, wait, there probably is someone here, but weird plays kind of coming out. I mean, yes, it was nice they've got the pick up on Toxic Dares, but Ziviz had so much available to get out of that and then still make the same play. It just seemed really, really odd, but it's not going to be enough in the end. And you can already see Pepito, he's stuck around, but I don't think he can stay around for too much longer.
Kangas should have realistically went, who's missing and was bot lane very, very recently? I feel like that was just a huge bait there, and the exhaust being available as well. Ox, I feel like even Ox could have possibly even won that fight, even if he was by himself with the exhaust as well. So, but again, it is a kill. 2 kills to 1 already as we come up to the 6-minute mark. And Papito is just not having a fun time right now.
No, and this is the thing, when you're that low already, you have to be super careful of this level 6 coming up, because you're going to need to back at some point before that, because it's too easy to get the engage. And if Jokerism and Ox can kind of set up the lane beforehand, so they've got a freeze going, it's only going to become worse and worse for you as the game goes on, because you're going to fall further behind, continuously getting poked, and every time you walk up to the lane, there's the threat of that arrow coming through and just ruining your day.
Yeah, the arrow, ever present and ever scary, as it is a global. Obviously, to anyone who doesn't know, the longer the arrow travels, the higher the duration of the stun. So you could get lucky as you see Papito. Oh, he's so close to dying, as is Branibus. They're going to have to back away from this. So good. And again, Ox is just doing what a support needs to do, soaking up all the damage. The Jokerism is just in a good place right now. They're going to get so much damage into this this bot lane turret, and we actually didn't discuss it. It's very rare to see a bot lane turret going down early because of the extra armor it gets in the early stages. So it's just going to be so difficult for them to try and come back onto this. exceL really just putting on the pressure in this bot lane, and Barnabas not coming up with the Zyra play.
Yeah, not only is it going to be a problem in this bottom lane, but Token, no,
he should be fine.
Yeah, he's got heals and stuff. Oh, wait.
As I say that, though, he goes in, flashes away. Dragon goes over to the side of exceL, so they do pick up that one, but this is already the Trundle trying to get a little bit of a mark, but is actually 10 CS down despite being the lane bully we thought he would be.
Yeah, it is when he hits that level 6 point that he gets the advantage, because he gets the ultimate to just take away all of the stats that are defensive stats, even though the Maokai has, plus that little bit of regeneration helps him out against the Maokai's regeneration as well. But yeah, that's a nice place coming out from exceL. Realize they got the advantage. Oh,
Ziviz used the shockwave, but it's going to be to naught. Toxic Dares picks up that one. Exhaust used as well, probably just as a nigh the kill onto Kangas. And they're really trying to push out to this mid lane. 0-2, the only 2 deaths are onto that Orianna. This could be the kind of one-way Paria come back into this, but if they're sacrificing absolutely everything else, I don't know if that's how it works.
Yeah, but the problem is that the kills are constantly going...
Oh dear. Toxic Dares is very much himself right now. And here comes Nocturnal Plex, and oh my god, Paria, you are not in the right place whatsoever. Branibus flashes over, doesn't really have anywhere else to go. Another axe lands, and Ox picks himself up a kill. 2-0, the misfortune. And I think we can pretty soundly say that Zyra pick was not really working out, as Nocturnal Plex still going on top of this. Ox goes in, there's Kangas going in with the ultimate, but Exhaust is immediately, Ignite goes down, picks himself up a kill. Nice flash away, no reason for Ox to go onto that. Nocturnal Plex going to get hit up by the curtain call just to slow him down. They trade a 1-for-1. Not quite sure how that happened there. I feel like Ox got a little bit greedy.
Yeah, I think all of exceL got a bit greedy. They picked up the kills and stopped the blue buff from being taken, which is really what they wanted at the end of the day. They got the kill onto Zyra as well, so not sure why they decided to chase. It was actually just Nocturnal Plex going that bit too far, and particularly when you've already used the Ghost, you've used the Ragnarok as well. It's very easy for them to get the slows, the stuns, and everything else to just make that a bad time. So I'm not sure what the thought process was, and they end up paying for it in the end.
Yeah, Toxic Dares, though, is 20 CS up on his lane opponent and has a kill over him as well. So they're not doing too badly. Trundle finally picks up the TMF, but it's now 20 CS down. It's really not turning into the lane that he probably thought it would be. And I think all props to Tolkien. Tolkien doing exceptionally well in what is, naturally a losing matchup.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about, was that Tolkien's actually incredibly good at this Maokai. He showed it the last few weeks when he's been playing it, and he's shown up in it again, but as this game begins to go on, it's more about when those team fights kick off and the Maokai isn't at those tank stats that he needs, because with that Subjugate coming through, he's going to go down a lot faster than he expects. And yes, we're used to Maokai being this massive tree that just can go uproot everyone in the vicinity, but when you're going down too quickly, you can't really offer that. So now it becomes more of a kind of stop the engage and peel for your backline, rather than being able to go in and follow up on the Assault.
Yeah, 10 minutes in, 3 kills apiece, but it is a 1,000 gold lead, or just under, for exceL. As they look to try and maybe kind of, again, a slow start for them, but again, We saw this in the last game. They have a slow start, but they just escalate it so quickly. One big team fight goes wrong for Paria, and exceL just run ragged.
Yeah.
Oh, as I say that though, Ziviz does get hit up. Shockwave still available, as is Flash. Has got pots going as well. Tolkien, he's just winning these trades. Like, I don't understand how Fox Deity isn't coming out on top of these.
Yeah, and especially when they both obviously back to this about the same time. The teleport's both going to be coming up reasonably soon. But yeah, he's just consistently getting the damage that he needs, and Fox Deity not able to answer these trades, and that was more than likely because they got rid of, you know, the likes of the Jace. Maybe isn't as comfortable on the Strundle. He just wants to get rid of or get something that can deal with the tanks that are coming out from Tolkien.
Maybe, as we see, pretty much advantages for CS all across the board. Pretty significant ones as well as that. 20 in the top lane, 40 almost, actually more than 40 in the mid lane, and just under 30 in the bot as Nocturnal Plex has found himself snuck in. As we see the arrow coming out, Papito does get hit up by it. There is the hail of bullet time. Zyra ult comes out a little bit too late. Exhaust was used onto Nocturnal Plex, but there's exhaust. Ooh,
the burn.
Red buff, not able to burn down the plant. The plant shall live. But this just leaves Toxic Dares in a very bad position. I don't think he can really defend this.
Yeah, I don't think he can either. He just wants to back away because you can try and get some Price Seekers down to clear the wave, but they're just going to shove this in again and go for it. And especially when Nocturnal Plex starts wailing away on that tower, that's going to drop very quickly, and there's no support coming down. Kanga should be moving about this time. Orianna would have been backing, and you've got the wave pushed in, but he's not going to be coming down to help.
Yeah, another first tower for the bot lane. Jokerism going to be given that. Not quite getting the solo goal, unfortunately. And that is going to be a pretty good lead, and all of a sudden it's a 3,000 goal lead, ballooned from 1,000 already from just one kill on that bot side. And this is what exceL do well. It's what they kind of, you know, have always been able to try and do, is just push it out and go for it, and just get, you know, big advantages from small little plays.
Yeah, and this advantage is definitely going to be a big one when they come into this dragon as well. The Mountain Drake spawn in just 35 seconds, so they're going to want to be fighting this, particularly when they've got the Orianna ult up. They've got the Ashe ult will be coming back up just in time for that fight as well. So exceL will be more than ready to take this, take a scrap down around this dragon pit, and as well, it'll be that combo again coming through that we just saw with the Ashe ult followed up by the... Oh, hang on.
Oh, Kangas gets exhausted and gets ulted. Did blow the shockwave, and that is going to be another big cooldown. But again, Paria need to do something with this. They know that the ultimate and the exhaust is down from Ziviz. What can they do with that knowledge?
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you know that you're going to be fighting for this Mountain Drake coming up, you don't... Oh, wait, Ziviz, why are you in the middle of the river?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. He looks like he should be fine. Toxic Dare is not able to quite get on top of him yet. If he flashes in, gets the knockup, forces the flash away from Ziviz. As here comes the arrow, does miss, as does the axe from Nocturnal Plex. As exceL kind of getting a little bit panicked, trying to make a play somewhere. I don't really feel like they can right now because there's not enough ultimates to really go for this. As I say that though, Barnabas getting caught up. Good pillar means that they're going to completely isolate Ox from this fight, but they're getting the top turret. That's kind of what they all wanted.
Yeah. They're going to get the top turret. Actually, Nocturnal Plex needs to be careful.
What is he doing? Nocturnal Plex gets knocked up. Flash away from the Zyra. TP coming in onto the small minion means that Maokai comes in. Now they're trying to just burn down Fox Deity. While they do that, though, just so much damage going down. They will eventually pick up that tower purely because Papito just wasn't able to join up, so it ended up being a 4v2. But 1-for-1 is not exactly a position you want to be in.
Yeah, I feel Paria in both games have kind of been like, okay, we got to move two people into the top lane. They don't realize it's supposed to be the dual lane that follows up to the top side, and that's what cost them that turret because Fox Deity just can't keep up. Jhin needed to be the one that moved for the wave clear to be able to take the minions from afar. But it's just kind of weird play as well, actually. I was going to say, Ziviz needs to calm down a little bit. He's been very aggressive in this lane, trying to get Kangas down, but it's cost him a couple of times, and it only just cost him his summer spells a little bit, so you don't really want to be pushing up past a halfway point, particularly when you don't have the vision there to see where the Rek'Sai is coming from.
Yeah, 2 towers, though, in favor of exceL over the none for Paria. 1 dragon, which is the Infernal for exceL's, and Mountain Drake is the current one that has spawned, and it looks like they may be starting to make plays towards not getting deep vision in the side of the red side jungle of Paria. But again, Ziviz, no flash, will have exhaust very soon. We'll see what they can do.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be able to do particularly much. Fox Deity is in the top side, but doesn't have the Subjugate available, whereas everything apart from the bullet time is up for exceL. They're going to open up with the Curtain Call to see if they can put some damage down.
Yeah, he's going to put down a little bit of damage onto Nocturnal Plex. who is pretty damn okay with it, to be honest with you. There's another shot, not really going to do anything from there. There's the honey fruit as well. The Zyra plant doing a great job at tanking it up for exceL. And that's going to be a free dragon pretty much going over to exceL.
Yeah, they weren't in a position to go in there. You can see Maokai fighting off against Toxic Dares on that bottom side of the jungle. And Kangas!
Oh, Kangas forced the flash. Arrow hit him dead center. But while that was happening, they gave up a dragon. Fox Deity should be able to pick up this turret. No TP available on the side of exceL. That should be all she wrote for that top lane turret, but gives a little bit of gold. As I say that, Branabit's getting chunked down, a lot of damage, not quite able to fix it. But again, no one with wave clear able to keep this wave going, and this is just going to keep happening for Paria. They're going to keep trading unevenly until they have someone in those lanes rotated properly and to take care of the wave clear.
But that's the thing, who do you send for the wave clear? The only wave clear you have at the moment is the Zyra support, and if she's not in, she can't physically be in 3 places at once. So if you've got several members moving around the map, you're going to be perfectly fine. Ooh.
Oh, Jokerism did flash away. There's the ignite and the ultimate from Zibas as Ox tries to go in. I don't know if he wants to fight that one just yet. We do see pretty much the makings of a Hextech Gunblade almost finished up as Kangas backs away, picks up a nice CS for himself. And that is another kill. He's got a Dark Seal as well, which he's stacking up, so.
I like the way Ox has 3 kills, like, no, I'm the AD carry now. I'm going to take down the Katarina instead of Ashe, who's just been melted by her. But
Jokerism, please. Yeah. I have the kills.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just calm down and let me carry the game. That's exactly what's coming out from Ox right now. It's just like, don't worry about it. Everyone has bad games. Don't worry about it. I got this, okay? But it is kind of nice. I like the diversity that we're seeing in the meta right now, in the sense of, like, in supports at least, in the sense of, you have got quite a lot of supports, mages, actual utility supports, and, straight out AD carries that are able to just kind of sneak into that meta, and it's showing a little bit of diversity in play.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much, and it's throughout the lanes as well, and it is thanks to this kind of 10 ban system that we're seeing coming through, because it just means that you're forced to have these other champions in your back pocket in case you do get picked on, because we've seen it happen time and time again where you see 3 bans thrown one direction and then you're like, oh, I've only got 3 champions. What do I do from now? But it's kind of forcing players to have that variety in their game, which I really, really like, and forcing teams to play different styles as well. I mean, it's a very different style playing with an Ashe MF in the bot lane to, say, playing with the likes of, say, a Lucian Thresh or Lucian Braum that we were seeing in previous seasons.
Yeah, 3,000 gold lead hasn't inflated that much. 5 kills apiece, 3 towers to ward, and 2 dragons, which are the Infernal and the Mountain. So exceL still very much in the driving seat, and it was about the 22, 23 minute mark that we actually saw them fully take control of the game. But you always got to be careful of a Katarina who's just might go off. Arrow swings past. That's 3 points for a goal. And again, more and more pressure coming out from exceL. They want to be the playmakers. They want to be the ones that get the advantages, and they want to be the ones that get the win.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Yes, we're kind of in this lull, but it's because exceL are playing it that little bit safer. You can see moving in as a group of 3 into that jungle, so then they can try and get the vision down, because otherwise they just can't make these proactive plays. And we saw this is where the game kind of stagnated last time, because they weren't able to make the plays, get in behind because of the Taric. That's a very different story in this game, because you've got that beefy Maokai with the instant lockdown, and there's no real way for them to deal with it, actually.
Oh, as we say, no way to deal with it. Ox forced to flash. Weren't able to get vision for Kangas. He wasn't able to jump over the wall, had not flash himself. But Summoner Spell burned for Ox means that he is not in a good position if he needs to reposition. But at the end of the day, they don't pick up a kill, and Paria don't get any more advantages out of it.
Yeah, and I think that's what Paria are kind of just going to be happy doing, is stalling out the game, picking off these stragglers who are just not in the right place at the right time, particularly when you've got Papito on the Jhin. It's very easy for him to use the ultimate, the curtain call, to slow them down that little bit, just so then the rest of his team can get in position. And when the flash is burned onto Ox and he's got it back, it just takes the pace out of exceL, gets the wind out of their sails, and it means that then they've got to try and reset everything that's just happened. You see, they'd moved into that bottom side of the jungle to get in some wards. It's just going to all be completely cleared out now, as they have to try and force themselves back into a position where they can move in again.
And we see the gold leads there for pretty much everybody apart from the jungle, pretty much. Huge goal discrepancy though between the AD carries at the moment of about 1,000. It's just not a huge amount they can do about it. And also we're pretty much the same, actually 1,500 for the support. So MF got a lot of money, got a lot of stuff going for her, and there's another 45 gold just from making it rain. She literally is making it rain.
Yeah.
So much money.
She's a pirate. She's got all that gold. She's just splashing it out.
No, she's getting it. She's stealing it. That's what pirates do. They steal other people's gold.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it. But anyway, sitting on a lot of damage as well. Going to be going towards that Black Cleaver to make sure that her ultimates are chunking down Fox Deity and Toxic Dares. As we hit, again, as you said, another lull in the game. 20 minutes gone. It's about 4,000 gold now. But how is Tolkien 50 CS up on this Trundle? I don't understand.
I think it is just the rotations there. You can see that exceL are constantly going, cool, we're going to stick the Maokai into this lane, we're going to stick our AD carries are going to swap out in the top lane, and they're constantly the ones making the proactive moves. The problem is that Paria are far behind on the play, but they're also not reacting to the play when they see it happening. They see the top lane there, or sorry, the dual lane in the top side of the map, and they never swap out. They never try and answer for it. They're just like, oh, I'm okay with this. It's like, you know, the cartoon of the dog with the house on fire. It's like, I'm fine with this.
Yeah,
it's just
fine.
You gotta move around. You gotta try and answer for it, because this is what happens. You end up so far behind. 50 CS is a big deal, particularly when you're supposed to be in the winning matchup.
Yeah, you picked the winning lane effectively into this, but it shows the confidence that Tolkien has as Dragon just goes live. Priority pretty much over to exceL. No vision actually for either side, in fairness. So if Paria really wanted to go for this, they could, but it's going to be very, very difficult. That Dragon going down not super fast. They do get vision on it temporarily. Toxic Dare is looking for something. Here comes the curtain call. Going to be blocked out by Tolkien. They can't go for it. Tolkien playing bouncer on the side there. As I say, Jokerism gets caught out. Does have to flash away from the other way. Great 3-man knockup, and Toxic Dare starts the fight. As we see everyone just trying to go in. Shockwave lands on the 2, so that's going to be a jungler for an AD carry. Zivus is the next one, and this could be Pariah's fight. Tolkien though, it's just so big. Great ultimate there from the Misfortune. The bullet time just doing so much, and there's just nothing they can do. The tanks are too big. Paria have to run for their lives, and it's going to be a 3-for-2, and the Dragon could have been 4. Barnabas gets himself out there nicely, but that is a huge fight for exceL. It looks so good for Paria, but they're just too far behind.
Yeah, and it was the best engage that they could have really hoped for in that situation. They were far too late for the Dragon, so they couldn't get the poke down that they wanted. Jokerism gets locked up by Barnabas and nearly gets taken down, followed up by Toxic Dares, and you're like, great, this is exactly what they need. The AD carry that's sitting on the Runes Hurricane and the Essence Reaver, a lot of damage coming out, is gone. We can take this fight, and Kangas has basically free roam the backside. We see it now. Beautiful knock-up coming through. She goes down, but there's just so much tankiness coming out. You see Kangas instantly exhausted in the back line, so he's not able to get his heat goes down. Yeah,
Papito was left alone to deal with the Olaf. That was not good.
Yeah, and that's it. It just means that then there's too much damage coming out from these tanks. Not enough peel there, because when Toxic Dares goes in like that, who have you got to peel? It's a Trundle pillar and your Zyra, who's already used everything she has to get the pick onto Jokerism. So they're just left to have free reign in your backline, and it's when you've got a case of, okay, whose backline is going to die first, it's going to be the ones who are behind.
Oh, Jokerism, though, finds himself in a really bad position. TP has to be used right now, but Toxic Dares is not dissuade right now. As we see Kangas coming in, as well as Barnabas, Jokerism will go down. Now Tolkien may look to try and re-engage this fight, but on the backside of that, Fox Deity picked up a kill. Now Papito finds himself alone with the angry Olaf again. They just turn around and say, nah, we'll kill you. You're super easy to kill. Fox Deity, you may be next. He doesn't really have anywhere else to go. Ziviz picks up that one. It's a 2-for-2. As I say that, though, Nocturnal Plex does get caught up, but or does he? He might have just been baiting. Now everyone in Paria on full retreat. There's Ziviz. Great dissonance as Tolkien picks himself up. Is it a touchdown? No, Ziviz denies the touchdown from the sapling. And that is going to be a 4-for-2 in favor of exceL, and they're just accelerating so far ahead right now. There's nothing Paria can do.
I feel sorry for Papito in this game, because he's just got no one to help him. It's just, he's on his own. Like, once Barnabas uses all of his skills, there's no one there to help him. The Pillar's on long cooldown, the Rek'Sai's just used their lockup. She's not going to be able to help out, and they're already going to try and pick up this Baron even, but I mean, you don't really want to make this a 50-50.
Toxic Dares, he goes in a little bit too early. Had to try something. Tolkien, again, playing bodyguard, playing bouncer, saying, you want to get into this club? Nah, mate, get the hell out. You ain't getting in here. And they can pick themselves up a 25-minute Baron. Power play going to be absolutely huge. 8,000 gold is the lead. 2 Mountain Drakes and an Infernal. They can take structures and objectives super quickly. It's just not looking good.
And that's the thing. It's not even
Fantastic, though, from exceL.
Oh, most certainly, yeah. exceL are completely shown up. And that's what I was going to say. Token has been playing bodyguard, basically, as you were saying, every single time there's an objective up. You can see him down at the Dragon, which secured them the 2 Mountain Drakes. But now that they have the Baron and those double mountains and Inferno, the tower dive potential is insane. You can't approach this tower and try and stop it because Token can tank for days, Nocturnal Plex can tank for days, and there's nothing you can do. They've got to give up these turrets. And even when it gets to the in-hit one, they still have to be careful. I think Orianna, though, needs to come and join the rest of her team because you do not want her split pushing right now. When you have this lead, you want to be as 5 and trying to push it, trying to make the advantage through the tower dive onto possibly Papito. He got close.
Oh, here we go. A little bit of a mini engage from Paria, but again, Nocturnal Plex and Token, not the 2 they wanted to catch out. Swap that out for Jokerism and Ox. As I say that, though, Toxic Dares gets caught. There goes the ultimate as well from Fox Deity. There's a good Stranglethor's, means they're able to keep it out and keep everybody away. Kangas goes onto the backside, doesn't pick up anyone, loses his own life. It's a 2 for nothing. Ziviz goes, hello, time for me to join the fight. Gets in, completely deletes Papito, and I just feel so bad for him right now as here comes the shockwave. Fox Deity gets knocked about, and it's just going to be more and more kills. I feel like exceL could possibly go for the win right now.
Yeah, and this is basically what we saw the last time. Juggling or dancing around outside the base, and instantly, once they get the kill, they follow up straight away. Oh, the exhaust. Toxic Dares.
Sorry, buddy, it's just not your day. Nexus turret's going down. The Nexus is sure to follow, and this is going to be exceL taking game 2 and the series 2-0 for those very crucial 3 points as they finish off their week 3 very, very nicely.
Yeah, and a very strong showing coming out of them. You could see they always had a game plan in mind as, okay, cool, we finish off the bot lane turret, but that's where we're getting an advantage. We're going to move up into the top side of the map, and just Paria weren't answering for it. You saw it in game 1 and game 2. Yeah, there was, as we're seeing on the screen, a little bit of few hiccups along the way, with Ziv is going a little bit aggressive in the mid lane, but overall, solid play, and just you can see the damage that comes out. Papito. They're like,
Papito. Like, I feel like it's like saying to Pinocchio. It's just like, Papito. Papito. It just nothing here. And like I said, it just wasn't able to get anything done whatsoever. You see him on the backside of that fight, just nothing he could do. Gets left alone to deal with the angry man from Norway. Or not from Norway.
That just Nordic.
Yeah, it's just Nordic.
Norway doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't
exist.
We've
just wiped Norway off the map. Just rubbed it clean.
No, Norway, I have decided you're done. And they tried for a last-ditch effort. It just wasn't enough. And Paria, oh Jesus, that's sickening.
Yeah,
that's just not fun to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, there's nothing that they can do in that situation. When you get to that point, it's just like sayonara. Like, that's it. It's a game over. You've already tried several times to make these fights happen, and they were good attempts. You could see that Paria did have that team fight there. It's just that they were so far behind from their macro play that they couldn't just capitalize it from their micro.
Yeah, really, really sad to see, but it is going to be 2-0 for exceL as they take 3 points from it, and we are going to be back very, very soon, ladies and gentlemen, with M&M Gaming versus Cyclone. This, in my opinion,